welcome back to another video by Pour Girl. Today we will be pouring onto ceramic tiles and making some coasters. So sit back, relax, and let's flow to it. Alrighty, let's get started today. So today we're going to be making some ceramic coasters. You just have some ceramic tile from the hardware store. You can find this in flooring, or I think you can also find it in the bathroom area for like backsplash kind of tile and everything. What I use is usually, I think the most I've spent on one tile is 60 cents, and I usually buy a pack of 100 tiles. So before we get started with explaining what colors we're using and everything today, just wanted to show you a finished set. So this set has green, orange, and yellow in it. And then on the back, it has some felt bottoms so it doesn't scratch up your surface. And then for the top, the clear coat, we use a what's it called? A bar top resin. There it is. We use a bar top resin on top of it, and that way you can place your drinks, and they can be cold, they can be hot, they can be dripping with sweat, and all you have to do is wipe it off every once in a while, and it doesn't get your tabletop with rings and all of that. And I usually make a set of 4, so there's 4. They all come out a little different, so you can see this one is a little bit different from this one, which is also different from this one. I believe I have a little bit of white in there actually. This one's my favorite out of the entire set. I always try to sign the back of them just so that I have my signature on there, but you can see the felt round's a little bit easier. And that's the clear coat resin drip. Whenever you're doing it, you have it on top of a cup and you pour some resin on there. But I'll do a video of that tutorial, not really a tutorial, but just showing how that works another time. But today we are going to be using Royal Blue with Anita's all-purpose acrylic craft paint. It's one of the large bottles. And then we're also using bright yellow, which is an apple barrel. We're using white again. I like using white because it helps mix the colors and give you different shades and hues of the colors. The white is also apple barrel. And then I thought I'd come in and throw something fun in, some extreme glitter, which is the silver glitter. This one's a folk art. And I'll put a description, in the description, all of the paints. And most of the time I'm getting them from a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. But I've also gotten them from Walmart as well, which they have some cheaper sets of them. You can get the small bottles, probably about half the size of this. So most of the time I have them getting them from Hobby Lobby though. So I'm going to move our tiles out of the way real quick. We also have the water and the fluid gloss medium here. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these all up. Like always, I will be right back. Alright, and welcome back. So we have all of our colors mixed up. We got our yellow. We have our white. Actually, that one is our silver glitter. It's really close to our white, so you can kind of, one's a little bit more milky. I don't know if you can tell, but one's a little bit more milky than the other. This one has a little bit of a gray tone to it. And of course we have our white. We always want a base white. And then we have our royal blue. I didn't mix up as much royal blue because it is a very overpowering color. But with this, I'm going to do two different techniques. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a pour, which we did in our previous video. The second technique is I'm going to actually take this tile and dip it into the paint that we have. So we're going to do our pour first, which if we do our pour first, then we use the leftover paint to do our dip. So let me get set up real quick. All right, and we are ready to go. I already went ahead and mixed up our cup. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this over and do kind of like a flip cup for a tile. And you'll see we have a bunch of paint runoff. But we want to have that for, actually I'm going to set up a second cup in here. We can actually do 2 cups at once here. Or 2 tiles, sorry, not 2 cups, but we'll do 2 tiles at once with a pour. And we'll go ahead and kind of shimmy it around, get it going, and then we will release in the middle here. You can see that's a lot pouring off there, but we're going to use that for our dip. We're going to dip the paint, or the coasters, in the paint. Oops, got a little bit of extra there, we don't need that. I'm going to take this first one, kind of maneuver it around, kind of keep some of that blue on there, but we want to add some of this to this one maybe. There we go, get a good coating here. This one's actually turning out really cool. Some of this blue going over here and kind of add that on there. See what happens. Alright, that's about as much as I want to move it around for this one. But you can already kind of see some of the silver coming out there. I'm going to put it on the back over here. It'll start dripping and drying. There's a lot of paint, so it's going to need a lot of dry time. Coasters usually take a lot longer than a painting will. But you can already see this one's coming out a lot different from the first one. It just depends on how much of each color stays on the tile. And then when we dip them, you'll see that even though it came out of the same pour, or the same color, it comes out a little bit different. That's the cool thing about coasters, is they always come out just a tad bit different than each other. And you can already see this one came out really different from the first one, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in the back. So you do get some messy fingers. I'm going to move our cups. I also, so you don't waste paint, I sometimes take small 4x4 canvases and I'll dip them in here as well, so you get a second canvas. Or like today, I'm going to take a ball ornament, one of the little plastic ball ornaments. I don't have it out just yet, but we're going to take one of those and roll it around in the paint and see what happens as well. So I have my next coaster ready, and you can see that I'm not going to pour this because there's no way of taking this paint, putting it into a cup, or taking this and pouring it onto here. And it's okay if I get some paint on there. It's it's not going to show up anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip it into the paint and see what happens. I'm going to kind of smush it into the paint, pull it up, and there we go. Now look at that, we got some green in there. Some green happening. This is a lot different from those that we poured. What I also like to do sometimes is I like to shake them around. See what happens when you shake it. And there you go. That one's a lot different. It's going to be in the same set, but it's going to look a lot different from the first two. Because it's not going to have those cells popping. Which actually, I'm going to bring this one back up. Look at that. There's a lot more white because of those cells. That was one of the first two that we did. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this second coaster that is ready to get dipped. Again, it doesn't matter if I get some paint on there because it's going to get paint on it anyways. And we just kind of, I like to move the paint around a little bit. This way a little bit. There we go. Tilt it back. There we go. And let's choose this corner over here. Go. Ooh, look at that. Even different from the other dip. We're gonna shake it around. See, I want a little bit more blue, and there's a little bit of blue over here. If you can see right here, there's a little bit of blue. So I'm just gonna take this, pick up some of that blue. Let it run in there. And then shake it. I like to check it and see if I want to keep shaking or if I'm gonna stop. There we go. Looks like it split the colors. That's just where the colors are kind of merging. Kind of looks like it split the colors there, like it was supposed to be like that. That's really cool. Again, very different from the first two and the first dip. So if you can see, there's like a mush of color in here. You can see there's a mush of color in there. It's kind of moving around. What I'm going to do is I actually like to take... Let me see what I have in my arsenal up here that I can and use. Let's see. Do I have any little... Alright, I have a bulb ornament. No, it's not Christmas time, but take the top off. Take it just like so. It kind of gives it a interesting marble effect on the bulb. Kind of move it around in here. Get some of this glittery white and blue. I don't know if there's enough actually to get a good coating on here. I'll try. Trial and error. You never know what's going to happen until it happens with art, right? Especially crafting. There we go. Take some paint and shoop and whoop. There we go. And it's gonna like settle, and then it'll have another pattern. It may be more blue or more green and yellow than I was hoping, but you know, that's okay. We got a lot of different stuff going on over here too. And it'll all start settling, and just give it a little coat here real quick. You'll never know what'll happen, because you can see it's still running down the sides. So I'm going to put it back here with the other stuff that is drying. A little hard to set because it is round and everything. So give me just a second while I try to set it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is reset and just show y'all how the paint came out on the coasters. They're not going to be fully dry yet. Not going to be that instant, but once they are dry, they'll do a top coat. Kind of give you a glimpse back there. There you go. All right, now that we're all set, and I can show y'all a little bit of differences. You can see these two were dipped, and these two were poured. This one had a lot of yellow in it, but now it has a lot of white. So if I pick it up and bring it a little bit closer to the camera, you can see that it has a lot of white going on in there. I don't want to tip it too much because I might tip some paint off. This one's really cool. It's got a lot of cells going on and everything. Cells can happen when you have air pockets in the paint, or if you do a medium, which normally you use a silicone medium to add cells to your paint. I've used soap, but as you can see, just air bubbles in your paint can cause cells, which is really cool. And see, these are two dipped. See how this one came out. This one's really cool. It also has some cells in here. If you see right in this middle area here, has some cells. Those are some air pockets that happened when we dipped it and it suctioned. And this was our last dip. And this was our second one. This was our last coaster. And you can see that all four of them are very different. These two definitely look like they go together. These two definitely look like they go together. But it's all one set, which is really cool. And overnight they'll set and they will dry. And hopefully by tomorrow afternoon they will be done drying. But sometimes I'll give it a day and a half to 2 days to dry a coaster. But thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed seeing some coasters get made and 2 different types of techniques. If you liked the video you just watched by Poor Girl, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on your notifications to get notified when new videos get uploaded. Send me a comment in the comments below to tell me how you liked the video, what you liked about it, and what kind of videos you would like to see coming up next. Can't wait to see you flow to the next video. Flow to the next video?